You ready to vlog?
Yeah.
Hello there, I'm Greg, and this is a tour of my workshop. Ascend. Welcome, this is my workspace. We're up in the roof of our house. It's my filming space and also building and also display area, so it's sawdust and dust meet electrical equipment, which is always an interesting challenge. Very happy with it as it is now. We've been here for 3 years the other day. It's always a work in progress, but it's got to a place where it's very usable and functional. And a couple of people wanted to have this tour, so you get what you ask for. We'll start by the door, that's a good place to start. The start of my tin sign addiction, which is a very new addiction, began with the Soup Dragon. She was my first. I then had a Starbug one, which I recently replaced with this, because I'm just a big fan of vintage police telephone boxes. That was a gift from my camera crew. And then this is a sign I found by some bins. This room is equipped with Edison electric light. Not to brag. Come on in. You're always welcome. Shelving. Every square inch you kind of want to be shelving or storage. I may build a shelf in this space above the door, I think, because you could rest a big square shelf on the door frame and across to this rafter, and then you could pop a shenanigan up there, something like that. So there's not much unused space, but that is some. These shelves were bought for me by my mum many years ago. Prophetically, she knew exactly the colour I would one day want my workshop to be. Greeny grey, sage, you know. So this is kind of junk. This isn't the most spectacular place to start. I've got a microphone, some resin, a small amp. This is a camera box that we once found at a car boot sale, because the back of it is all smashed in. So it holds both my cameras. I've got a Canon 7D and then a second-hand Canon, whatever you're currently filming on, can't even remember. That's how into cameras I am. So that's one box. Organisation and things all being in one place just is such a good feeling when your brain's a bit of a swarm of bees sometimes. This is entirely full of glasses, because I like dressing up sometimes. So we've got Woody, we've got Mr. Allen, any Class Dismissed fans in? We've got Brian, he's a poet. I had enough pairs of glasses that I needed a suitcase to keep them in. I've also got a suitcase of wigs, but that's hidden under the eaves. These 3 drawers are all lights. So I've got tons of battery fairy lights, little tea lights. Some of them are copper stars, some of them are multicoloured. A couple of those little head torch lights that I made my Bella Baxter light box from. I buy any kind of self-contained light to avoid learning electrocraft, although my wife did buy me a soldering iron, so it's time to do some electronics. That's all makeup and a fake moustache, and if I need to paint my hair grey and stuff. This is drawers of jewellery, badges, patches, bangles. These are all my DVDs. Used to be a huge display wall of DVDs in our old flat, which actually just fit in 2 cases if you throw all the boxes away. This is my cork board, because I was going to write a feature film, so of course what you need is a cork board to get your feature film written, and then you put all your screenwriting books next to it. Didn't make any difference. The one thing I do want to show you that I'm very proud of is that I made the board fit exactly under the eave of the roof. So I bought a very large cork board and then angled. There's a little split there because I made this bit of frame out of the other 2 sides of frame, and I'm just proud of how that fits under there. And that's this wall. More shelving. This is the wall of shelves. Again, very proud. I mean, I'm very proud of all of it, but these shelves I put in not that long ago. I had to do a system of using tiny magnets to find where the studs are, because it's a lath and plaster wall, but it's vertical brackets, so you can raise the height of the shelves up and down. Painted these bits of wood myself, and it's just many storage boxes. And then gradually, as your collection of stuff builds up, you realise, oh, I need a certain stuff box. So for example, you might need to organise all your little bits of wood. You might need adhesives, glues, pastes, lacquers and resins. Paint, obviously, that's going to become a second box soon, it's pretty full. Tapes, every tape you could possibly sort of think of, which is really nice to own. Main tools is here. Then overflow tools, so I've got clamps and saws and gloves and goggles and stuff is there, and then overflow tool 2 is there. I'd rather have them in 3 small boxes than in 1 massive box full of tools. This is sanding stuff, sanding bricks, sanding sponges, sanding a third thing for the rule of 3s, like Scotch Brite, you know, the wire wool that you've seen me use. Then These boxes are more decorative, slightly less useful. These are my bits. Yeah, we'll go through those later. Then these up here are prospective projects, so they're sort of project kits. This might be Red Dwarf cosplay. This might be a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. These two boxes might be half-built bazookoids. So they're sort of kits just waiting for me to actually finish them. Then one box is full of ray guns, toy ray guns that make noise. I'm going to use one of those very soon. And then the one underneath it there is framed original Food Farms artwork, still available on Etsy. Down to the desk, it's gone squeaky. I noticed this the other day, and it's not because it's rubbing against the other desk. This is my desk. If you've watched my 10 workshop improvements video, which if you're watching this, that's a similar jam, isn't it? You're probably into both. These are my display things. So I've got 4 tennis ball tubes. Tennis balls, my liege. What's that from? Asking what quotes are from is I'm trying to make part of the format, but no one ever replies in the comments. Just a thing. Help me out, guys. And then these were popcorn. Very nice popcorn from B&M, which I knew they'd stop doing, and they have. So I bought a lot of popcorn for a while. And again, gradually you see what you've got large amounts of and you group them together. So here I've just got straws. These are paint stands. These are toothbrushes, old paintbrushes, and paintbrush just handles, which are good for stirring paint and poking holes in things. These are bits of cable ties and a couple of whole cable ties. These are wooden things, so lolly sticks, coffee stir sticks, chopsticks, toothpicks, other kinds of sticks. Small brushes and quite nice brushes. Makeup brushes are good for weathering, you'll have seen, like dry brushing. I use a lot of makeup brushes. These are carving tools and lino gouging tools. I haven't really used them yet. I had a carving plan, but it was a bit festive, and as time wore on, the glow wore off. So that might be a next year thing now. It was The Green Knight. Tell me if you're interested in that. It's a good film, isn't it? Sanding things. So this is a small collection of sanding things from the Sanding Things box. So it's mostly emery boards, but some wire wool and stuff. Then this will one day not be its own jar, because it's just a thing I'm keeping my aquarium gravel in. And then this is just full of black nitrile gloves. Don't like the word nitrile. Don't know why. Hello. So under the desk I have this cabinet that I really love. This was from Facebook Marketplace. It was on there for 30 quid. I asked about it. She said someone else has already expressed interest. Sorry. So I said I'll give you 40 and we'll come and get it now. Deal. It was this quite unpleasant sort of Caucasian flesh tone beige. You know, it's just laminate. It's not anything. It's not nice wood. But I masked all around it, sanded it a little bit, and did 3 layers of wood stain. Added some nice handles, and it just fits exactly under here. I think it was a TV cabinet, but most TV cabinets are open at the front, and I wanted specifically drawers and cupboards. So I really had my heart set on this thing. In here we have all my prints and posters for Etsy, a big store of brown paper and packing paper for if we need to do paper mache again. That is just genuinely assorted junk. More nitrile gloves, and just sort of old door handles, drawer handles, hardware. And then this cupboard is just packing stuff for Etsy orders, so bubble wrap and envelopes. Then, fitting exactly into the space at the end of this already beautifully well-fitted cabinet, is this IKEA trolley. So I've got my glue gun, my Tack Life rotary tool, my Dymo label maker, more glue sticks, and my dead Dremel, but the Dremel fixtures are nice. And I also, as you will have seen from my 10 workshop improvements video, now have plugs there. So I can just pull this out, get my Tack Life or my hot glue gun, plug them in there, and it all feels very efficient and satisfying.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Hello.
do it for the gram. Do it for the vine, bro. So here's a live demonstration, hopefully, of why that chair is there. It seems an odd placement for a chair, but one of the main reasons I grew out of sitting down is that my chair is needed by someone else. Shall I do it? Shall I open the window?
Yeah.
Might be noisy, but the child gets what the child needs. And now we're going to go back and have a look at what I pretentiously call the cockpit. Again, as with all the good decisions in my life, a shout out to my wife for suggesting that I come into this alcove but face out this way. I didn't want to spend all my time facing a corner. So this desk facing out this way has just changed my life, and I absolutely love it to bits. When I say desk, this is my mum's old dining table. Thank you, Mum. And then definitely I think it's better for you physically, but also for your mood, standing desk. I don't get the kind of 3 o'clock slump as much. No 100% guarantee that you won't get any 3 o'clock slump, but I do genuinely like working standing up. This is it's a shoe rack, really, an industrial style shoe rack. And then this big desk here that I got free off a workmate of my brother's or something was an L-shaped desk, which I thought would fit into this corner and stick out, and it didn't, and it was too massive. So we cut a bit of it off. That's this bit. So I made a keyboard table for myself. This bottom edge was white, so I coloured it in with chalk pastels and felt tip pens and covered it all in wood glue, just to make it match, because the whiteness of it was going to bug me. Sanded it off, and then I quite recently put on these little plastic brackets to stop any of these upper desks from falling off the mother desk, which also came from my mother. So yeah, that's the mother desk. Here's my shelf I put in recently. Talk about using vertical space for storage. Yeah, very pleased with that. It got full a bit quickly. I need to cut up these old crates and use them in something more, and then I think I'll stack my Cantina Band masks vertically. They're both in there. But I've got silicone moulding stuff, my Brain of Morbius, there's my labyrinth plant, and things can just kind of get thrown up there for now, which is really nice. Another thing that's really nice, I always had these drawers here, but realised if I bought 4 more they would fit exactly. They would fit exactly under the batten on which this shelf rests. Again, satisfying and wonderful, although they do have to match. Storage boxes have to match and be the same. So I spent quite a long time finding these online, trying to make sure that they were the same design as the ones I already had. More of the standing desk. This was an extra little secondary table I made because I realised if I raised up my drawers I would have space underneath. Initially it was an old chopping board that I put 4 metal legs on, but because of where the legs were, they were slightly too close together to fit an extra storage box underneath. So what I did was remove 2 of the legs, get a whole new piece of wood. This is just an old bit of a tabletop that my uncle gave me. So I've cut a square in each corner, and this bit of table extends onto this shelf of the shoe rack. So now those 2 legs have gone, and this storage box fits underneath. These drawers, another thing I'm quite evangelical about is clear storage. Clear. You need to be able to see what's in things without opening them or taking the lid off. Clear drawers, clear boxes. This is a calculator and some scales for my Etsy stuff. These are marker pens, pencils, felt tip pens, split pins, drawing pins, sewing stuff, and measuring tapes, same again. Highlighter pens, those 2 are currently miscellaneous, they're going to change. Some sponges, some pipe cleaners, these are all printing things and more pens. Stickers, Minceman ornament making parts, so that's glitter, Tamiya paint, little plastic skeletons and stuff. More stickers, that's where I go to when I want to make an envelope look nice or make a birthday card for my wife. This is sculpting and clay stuff. This is overflow paint because, as I said, my paint box is a little bit too small. And then that's a tiny Slimer, a hard drive, and a parcel tape dispenser. You know, that sort of thing. This is my guitar. I don't just put it in shot like I'm someone from a sitcom and it's like a character detail. Hey, I play the guitar. It's within reach for when I'm waiting for something to render. The only times that I just play music for its own sake is I sit down on the floor when I'm waiting for something to render or capture or transcode. Again, the tin sign addiction has grown onto the back of this rafter. I've got a long way to go and they're about £3.50, so yeah, I've become a guy who has like fake license plates on the wall of his man cave and says man cave. That's not me. This, as you can see from the lasers on my face, this is what I call my Bo Burnham machine, if you've seen Bo Burnham's Inside. Again, I think a gift from my wife. Almost everything is a gift from my wife. The cat's currently smelling your shoulder. He's so curious. He's never seen us get on before.
He don't like change.
Oh, he don't like change. So this is my corner. I think one day this will be a display of wonderful things I've made. You know, there might be a long Men in Black gun there, or other things, because I think it's going to keep growing. I'm always wondering about whether that sign, having my name in shot all the time, I might keep it, I might get rid of it, I don't know. Eve Storage. Who's she? Well, Eve Storage is a woman who... No. Storage under the eaves of the roof. This is fantastic. This is a real life changer because it's very deep to get to the gutter. There's a lot of triangulated space back there. There's shenanigans, there's a big honky horn, there's various water pistols, and long things like long cardboard carpet tubes that I want to use in something someday when I have to build a spaceship set, which is of course the dream. So originally our old flat, I had these shelves right up to the ceiling. I did have to cut them down ever so slightly to fit them under here, but they're a little plastic cap feet, so you can just saw it off and cap it off with feet. So again, they fit exactly under there, which is lovely. I knew I wanted a shelf all the way along this rafter. Again, another good idea by my wife is that the brackets that hold this shelf is screwed into the back of this rafter. So I bought some large L-shaped, like black metal brackets, which are screwed into the back of the rafter, and then this is screwed down onto it and with a little bit of batten at either end. Couldn't get a piece of wood to do the whole shelf in one, so I thought let's make a feature of the gap in the middle, and made what I didn't know at the time, but is actually a Huckle supporting platform. Thankfully I used some very heavyweight industrial brackets, because you know, he's a chonk meister. This again is a piece of wood from the tabletop my uncle gave me. So this old wood that I really like, my shelves are made of it, my standing desk is made of it, and it just has some nice, has a bit of history, and it's very good light. I recommend putting a working surface under where the best light in your room is, because sometimes I will just bring a thing over to here to cut it, or it's just good lighting. Neutrona wand, bazookoid. I'm determined for this shelf to be display rather than practical, but I did do a big tidy just this morning and there was a load of stuff on there, which is in the spare room. We don't talk about the spare room. I've talked about my LED lights before. I got two of these years and years ago. They've never failed me, which is wonderful. When I film and I stand here, I have this light about here pointing up at this lovely angled white bit of ceiling. So that is the light on my right, which is nice and diffused because it bounces off this white here, which is pure fluke, but it's why I will never cover this bit of ceiling in stuff. And then the other light I just point up at the ceiling, so again it's all bounced light rather than direct light. So that usually lives... Alright mate, calm down. Right, my storage boxes. These are my pride, my joy and my burden. These are 80-litre storage boxes. You can buy them online for about 45 quid each, or you can go to Asda where they're about 14. Madness. So these are things I've stored up for years. Miscellaneous props and puppets, Lego building blocks and kids kind of toy pipes, water pistols, ray guns and plastic shapes, more water pistols, ray guns, plastic shapes, and apparently old sort of Nokia mobile phones. Again, more water pistols, camping torches, bubble wands. This is mostly organised into sort of metal things and tubing. So if I need a bit of pipe or a bit of hose or a bit of wire, they will be in there. This is art supplies, some of which I've literally had since I was 10. So there's lots of sort of poster paint that smells weird. PVA glue, aquarium grit, wool, string, greaseproof paper, gold wire mesh, all the stuff for my collage, lettering titles that I do, they're just all in there, so that's art supplies. This is wood, so the wood that I made my jar storage from, or large bits of wood, bits of batten, old bits of table, just pre-cut wood, because I haven't got a bandsaw or anything, so any pre-cut, pre-made wood is really useful. This is pipes, old bits of drain pipe, mop handles, broom handles, tubes. Then we have 4 lots of costume. This is coats, hats and coats, and a big piece of black fur, boots, tights, gloves, braces, belts, shoelaces, chains. So if I need to make up a costume from somewhere, I come to these 4 boxes. Plastic bullets, plastic knives, Santa hats. You know, you never get rid of stuff. I'm fairly full now, so I do slow down. I'm like a plant, or one of those square watermelons, you know, I expand to the size that I fit in and then I hopefully stop. So I can't have a 5th 80-litre box of costume because I haven't got any room for it. So down from costume, musical instruments, 2 stylophones, maracas, cabassas, tambourines, my old digital 8-track that I will never get rid of for sentimental reasons, various harmonicas, whistles, guitar strings and stuff. This one is camera equipment, so old tripods, little LED lights, my green screens and stuff, and then this is just overflow props and costumes. An astronaut helmet made out of a bucket. I thought these were quite good. I bought some shoes and they came with these, so I might have to do a puppet of a duck or something. I mean, that's a puppet of a duck, right? Right, guys? Right? Yeah.
I know him.
This is various rolls of, that's glass pattern that sticks on. This is stick-on wood veneer. There is actually some real leather in there, but mostly fake leather or bookbinding leather that I thought would be good for covering handles and actual books and things. This is kitchen drawer liner that I used on my Mandalorian display. That is my box of spray paint. This is can't get rid of documents. So the sort of achingly sincere but surprisingly good poems I wrote when I was 16. There are some love letters in there. My National Record of Achievement, obviously. All paperwork goes in that box. And then this one, finally, is miscellaneous. I can see a vintage calculator, a scary doll's head, a fidget spinner, Japanese newspaper, and a magnifying glass. Playing cards and bird skulls. Stuff I can't get rid of but don't know where to put it. But mostly, I do know where to put things. Because I'm a storage and organisation head, which is lovely. And it's a really wonderful space that I feel like I've grown into. I know where things go. I've got very, very blasé about, you know, hammering holes in the wall and then just painting over them, and yeah, it's my happy place. Thank you for asking to see it, if you did. Assorted knobs and switches, old computer keyboard parts, various magnets, car headlight bulbs and rusty springs, Meccano, more Meccano, curtain rings, guitar pickup covers and thimble display cloches, pirate gun parts, rusty metal, rusty kitchen hinges, clock parts, more hinges, chrome valve things and a tiny candlestick. Glow-in-the-dark ceiling stars, Knox canisters, various drawer handles, rusty guitar pickups, carabiners, lamp parts and more curtain rings, chains, decorative metal parts, hair curler, twisty spring things, pendant backs, jewellery pieces and some metal decorative corners, tiny corks, copper pipe clamps, those door stopper things, more little clamps, old tape deck parts, rubber balls, some little crocodile clips and some hose clips. More curtain rings, disposable razors, an assortment of springs, cable tie offcuts, these cardboard shapes, old light switch parts, inexplicable leather placards that came with something, I don't know why, little offcuts of perspex, those size boxes you get on a coat hanger, and small plastic details from fun-sized Nutella packaging. I was going to say travel Nutella. And these are plastic aquarium gravel trays. This is mostly round things, so some plastic caps, a Kinder Egg thingy, vents from a bag of coffee, the body of a Garfield feeding toy, some wooden buttons, a collar that goes around the bottom of a radiator pipe, and old camera film lids, assorted round things, cogs, washers, the ends of all the broom handles that I cut off when I was making a werewolf cage out of broom handles, Subutio bases, teddy bear eye grommets, brass rings, milk bottle lids, more curtain rings and more milk bottle lids, assorted long things, various tubes, pipes and pens, metal furniture studs, plastic screw covers, more furniture, nails, rivets, plastic rings from the top of milk bottles and hair bands, and assorted greebly things that don't belong in any other category. Various food bag clips, some clothes pegs and some rainbow wire, fake Scrabble pieces from the works in both foam and wood, wooden letters, more wooden letters, fridge magnet letters, small letters. This is the lettering department. Old cassette tapes, Winnie the Pooh, read by Lionel Jeffries, soundtrack of my youth. Tiny, tiny nail art beads, larger gemstones and rhinestones, tiny nail art cogs, and some offcuts of that diamond grid packing tape that holds boxes together. Penultimate box, we have a load of corrugated card samples, food packaging and just general flat panelling textures, fly mesh from a plastic grill, plant pot bases and some offcuts of wood that just has a nice detailed edge, more cassette tapes, little cut-out bits of cardboard, little tea bag tabs that I thought would be good for greebling really fine detail, and then these are coffee pods which look like robot ears. And for the final box we have wooden puzzle parts, super glue lids, a toy, the lenses out of a VR headset thing I made for Spencer Jones, some plastic pipe toy parts, some more of that textured packing tape, a load of old Warhammer bulkhead parts that somebody sent me, a fellow YouTuber. Very kind, I've already used these in my Red Dwarf picture frames. And finally we have the corners that you get when you buy a large chunky picture frame, and a load of shims. Sometimes you find them on the ground, and sometimes you just buy large packs of them because they're very nice sci-fi panelling. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for watching this to the end if you have, which you have because you're here. If you are not one of my patrons, please consider becoming one of my patrons. You can be a free patron or for as little as $3 a month. Like, share and subscribe, all that jazz. Yeah, thanks for watching. Lots and lots of love for me. And I'll see you soon.